Good afternoon, 49er faithful. It is 4 o'clock on Thursday. We are coming to you with the Sneakerhead call-in show a little bit earlier today because we have NFL football kicking off at about 5:20. So we are wrapping this show at 5:15 so that everybody can get to watching NFL football. I'm hoping that the Bills take down the Rams. I'll be interested to get your predictions as well, what team you'll be rooting for. I have an inkling that most 49er faithful are going to be rooting against the Rams, hoping that they start off with a loss chalked up in that loss column. I'm excited to head out to Chicago. I'll be flying out there on Saturday. Very much looking forward to some new experiences with regard to the channel as far as covering these road trips, attempting to get some live streams from the stadium, from the parking lot, interviewing some fans, opposing fans included. Some of that I may not be able to do live. I may need to pre-record some of these just in case some of those fans around the stadium are having a good time, imbibing themselves with some good fluids, and maybe need to be moderately edited before they are put on my YouTube channel. But I also kind of want to have some live experiences as well, as long as it's with 49er faithful who are respectful of the idea that they got to limit the number of F-bombs they drop. We shall see. Maybe I'll just turn off the ads on that particular video and let them say whatever it is they want to say and look at it later and evaluate it. So again, headed to Chicago. Looks like the weather could be a little bit off. I'm excited. For the first time, I may get to wear this official 49ers rain poncho. I've had this bad boy for years. That may be what I'm sporting over top of the Jerry Rice jersey that I undoubtedly wear to almost all the games. All right, the link for the call-in is in the chat there. You're going to find that on the community tab of my YouTube page. Want to thank those that are here already in the chat. Spy Nick Danger coming in to do the good deed, say hit the like button. He's talking about beating the Bears, go Rob, go Niners, all sorts of excitement from Spy Nick Danger. The Gabe 209 Niners show says the Ramsey Lewis tonight, Bills 37-20 final score. Tonight, who's the champs now? I'm rooting for the Bills. I'm with you on that one, Gabe 209. Quesadilla Thrilla in the house saying, let's go Bills, beat the Lambs, and the final prediction of 31-17. Raphael 562 Niners coming in to say, what's up, Rob, Sneakerheads, and everyone. Kevin, Sneakerhead here on the channel says, evening, Rob, and everyone. Kind of an unusual, somber mood here in Scotland tonight. Yes. If one is a royalist or not, the passing of the Queen changes our entire country forever with a butterfly effect. He says, Balmoral is just a mere hour drive from my house, and there's already huge amounts of respect along the roads to and from. Poignant words. Grief is the price we pay for love. Yeah, that is, I'm guessing, a very somber mood in the UK this evening. That is sad news, although, I think that we can all hope to live to that ripe age of 96 and lead long, healthy lives. Sean 951 Niners coming in, bang, bang, Niner gang picking us back up after the moment of taking it down for a moment to recognize the Queen. Peter Gorman in the house, D-line looking good, might be the strongest part of the team. Got to agree. Darren Worthington coming in to say what's up. Archie is here to say hello. Samuel, woohoo, football is back, Rob. Yes, it is. John B. in the house. Evening, folks. Evening, folks. If it's a rainy game, 49ers run for 250 easy. I love that prediction. Jason L. saying what's up. Luke Walsh in the house. Sam is rooting for the Bills to have some lamb chops, and Dirk Pippen in the house as well. We get through everybody. I'm a camper on Call of Duty, says they're there as well. Appreciate everyone here in the chat. Let's get to our first caller. We need to get into what the faithful want to talk about, so we are bringing in Treasure to the program. Treasure, welcome in. Let's go, 49ers. Are you excited for the game coming up on Sunday?
I am very, very thrilled about the game, and I can't wait to see that thing pop off.
Yes, it is going to be. All right, what's your prediction? Do you think that what's going to be more impressive for the 49ers on Sunday? Is the defense going to be more impressive, or is the offense really going to show up? What is your guess on that?
Well, I really want the offense to stand out and put those people that are running their mouth about him to bed.
Sure. So
But I think ultimately the defense is going to stand out though.
okay, I like that. So you're calling that you think it's more likely that the defense is the standout of the game, but you're really rooting for the offense to have a great game, in particular Trey Lance, so that he might prove those doubters wrong. Because I agree, there are a lot of doubters out there. There are a lot of stories being written about assumptions that, hey, just because he wasn't made one of the team captains, there's doubt in Trey. I'm not buying it either. I want to see the proof on the field, and we will see it very soon.
Absolutely.
Who's the player, other than Trey Lance, who's the player you're most excited to see out there?
Well, first of all, I would like to bring up the quarterbacks, which is my favorites of this team is Trey Lance, of course, Brock Purdy.
Okay.
Because, I've been on his hot trail since he's been drafted. But the player that I want to see him really do his thing is, I would have to say, is your favorite, my favorite, Sammy Womack.
Yes. I like the Womack prediction. I really think I've called it out that I'm looking for a pick six in this one. I think the defense does intercept a pass, take it back for a touchdown, and I think it's Womack that does it.
And that is absolutely my prediction that it's going to happen in the first half.
Okay. All right. I absolutely love that prediction. So I've called it pick six. Treasure is saying it's happening in the first half. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Also, I would have to go with our boy Nick Bosa because he's definitely going to get to that quarterback and he's going to put Justin Fields on his butt.
Okay, so Bosa's putting Fields on his butt. How many sacks is Bosa going to rack up? Just one? Or is he getting multiple sacks in this game?
No. He's going to be on Nick Bosa is going to put Justin Fields on his butt the whole entire game.
Okay, multiple quarterback hits. I dig it. I believe so as well. I really do think that Nick Bosa is primed for a big season. I've predicted that he'll get 20 and a half sacks on the year. I know that's a very bold prediction, but in order to do so, he has to take advantage of matchups like this one. He's going against some tackles in Chicago that are very suspect. And if he's going to have a monster season, feels to me like he should rack up 2 sacks in this one and a couple of quarterback hits as well. So I agree. He's going to be knocking Justin Fields around. So
in the midst of Nick Bosa doing his thing and putting him on his butt, that's where Sammy Womack is going to come in and catch those. Oh, my God. He's coming.
I like
Justin Fields is going to do, oh, snap. There's nothing I can do with it.
Oh, snap indeed. I like John B's comment here. He's a sneakerhead here on the channel. Says, Rob, that pick of Trey, Debo, and Brandon Ayuk got me feeling like that trio is hitting 3,000 yards receiving between them. That pick was ice cold. I have to agree. Did you see that? Did you see the one that went on Instagram where it had Trey Lance, Brandon, and Debo all together? They were looking fly.
I think, matter of fact, I'm gonna predict one better than that. I think they're gonna get more than that.
All right. I love it. More than 3,000 yards between the three of them.
Absolutely.
I'm optimistic, but even I'm not that optimistic. But I love the prediction. Okay, here's another one. Here's another one that is joking and negative, but we got to joke about it because it happens all the time. Jason L is coming in to ask, how many holding calls does Bosa get called his way this game? My guess is he gets 0. Yes, Treasure, you're with me on that. He's not going to get any holding calls because Bosa doesn't get those holding calls. They just allow it to happen all day. All day. Absolutely. Okay, so in the run game, who do you think? I mean, obviously Elijah Mitchell is starting, and so you would guess that he probably gets the most carries and the most yards. But who do you feel is going to have the biggest game as far as the running backs go for San Francisco?
Well, it's definitely not going to be Elijah Mitchell, I can tell you that.
Okay, I want to hear the prediction.
My prediction is he is going to be there. He is going to show up, and he's going to show out. Jeff Wilson Jr.
Jeff Wilson Jr. I love this prediction because in one of my fantasy football drafts, wherein we had some technical glitches, I had to leave halfway through, and I auto drafted, didn't have enough running backs. I was able to go back in, and I picked up Jeff Wilson Jr., and I'm carrying him because I agree. I think there's a chance he has a big season here as the backup for San Francisco. Certainly going to be some games where he's starting. I want to get to this question real quick here. George Soares coming in, I think it's Soares in there, coming in saying, at Rob, what's going on with Kittle? So George Kittle has missed practice yesterday and today. It's a groin injury. It's looking day to day, not looking good for him playing in Chicago. There were reports today saying it's unlikely he plays, that it might be better for him to sit out this week. So Treasure, do you have a sense of whether you believe George Kittle is going to play this weekend?
I was motioning in that.
Not playing?
Not at all.
Yeah, I think that may be the case. I think he's out this week. I think it's probably a smart precautionary move, even if he's pretty close to being able to go. Those groin injuries are the type that you can re-aggravate if you go out there too soon. And so I think it's important for him to potentially sit out this week.
I would even predict that he sits out 2 weeks.
It could be. It could be. Another question, Raphael 5629 is saying, Rob, yeah, just to rest up. Rob, is McGlinchey playing this weekend? Now, today we had Chris Forster, the offensive line coach, speaking at the podium. It looked as if McGlinchey is going to be playing this weekend. He said McGlinchey is looking the best that he has so far. So I'm reading into that as a positive. I do believe that he's going to be out there. But Treasure, I see that you have some doubts about that one as well. All right, let me ask you, any final thoughts before I go down to the waiting room there? We've got Sean 951 Niners coming up next. Any final thoughts on the game for you, Treasure?
So I only have I have a few compliments and a few things to say. So I'm gonna make it fast.
Thank you.
I believe you should still be on Mount Rushmore because you are the man.
Thank you. Thank you.
But the Niners are gonna beat the snot out of the Chicago Bears. And I want to say hi to the 49er faithful and hello to Chris Royal.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Treasure. I'm sure that the faithful say hello back. Always great having you on. Love your enthusiasm. Love how passionate you are for the 49ers. I look forward to seeing you next week so that we can talk about the Niners having kicked Chicago's butt. Love the Jurassic Park shirt, and we will chat next week. Thank you, as always, for calling in, Treasure.
Ciao.
Have a good one. Okay, we are bringing in to the stream Sean 951 Niners. Sean, how you doing, man? We're headed towards week 1. Finally, that real football you keep craving, my friend.
Yeah, it'll be a nice Bills blowout tonight. I'm excited.
Yes.
At least I hope so. I'm sick of these Rams fans around here driving me nuts.
Right. Just take them down a peg. Just give them a good shellacking at the hands of a well-built team in the Bills. It should bring them down a little bit, make them more manageable for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think the game will be similar to last year's Tampa Bay-Dallas first game on Thursday night. Neither team's going to be clicking its first game like most week 1 games. But I still think, Josh Allen, he wants that MVP. And I think that Rams defense is not as good as they were last year. And, riding off that high of seeing your banner drop from the ceiling, which I assume that's what they'll do tonight.
Yep, I would think so.
Hopefully the Bills are just like, screw that. That's what I'm coming here to get this year and just lay it on them.
Yes.
But anyhow, about the team that is relevant here.
The most relevant team in the league by far.
Yeah, the only thing I'm super bummed about Sunday's game is that we're probably going to be in a freaking monsoon. So it's going to nullify.
I'm prepared. I've got the poncho.
Yeah, I called my aunt because she lives in South, the suburb of Chicago, and I was like, "How real is that? Let's be honest. Like, you're out there. When they say 75% chance, does that mean 100 or does that mean 20?" She's like, "No, it's probably 100." So to me, it's really going to be like the Washington game of 2019 when we had that 9-0 and it was just defense, 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 because there's no reason to have Trey ripping the ball up and down the field in that condition, because it's not going to help him from the media or anybody else in that regard. Just hand the ball off and just beat the hell out of the Bears, like, death by 1,000 cuts. If we can just do that, that'll allow McGlinchey to just run block, not pass block, so he doesn't get smoked by Robert Quinn.
Right, no pancakes.
Yeah, just let our guards get a feel for week one, run blocking like crazy, similar to almost like the Patriot game last year against the Bills where they ran.
Yeah, right, where that awful, atrocious weather game.
Because honestly, the best he can do in this game is literally show the entire league, son of a gun, here's the 49ers, like the Rams, first time we played the Rams at 3-5 when we ran 17 or 18 straight plays on that drive and scored.
Yes.
Just bludgeon them, take the stadium out and just get out of that game as healthy as possible. But I really don't see a lot of passing in this game, even from the Justin Fields side of it. They'll be in a lot of 3rd and longs, but I'm not thinking there'll be a lot of screens, a lot of real quick passes, so you don't have a lot of deflections and interception opportunities. So I'm really not that excited now because of the weather conditions, but ultimately, good. Just get your identity from week one. Let's run the ball and let's play good defense. And I want a shutout. The only way I see them scoring points is if we have a turnover on that side of the field and it's just an easy field goal. Other than that, I just want to see just bludgeon them. Just take them out like we did Seattle week one, 2019 when we had with that huge, 8-9-0 before they beat us in overtime, where we held them to like 16 yards first half offense. That's the type of defense I want to see. If you can stay consistent and true to our core there, I'll be happy. We can worry about the offense at home against Seattle next week.
Yeah, I think you point out some very astute things here. Obviously, Pete Gorman coming in to say he agrees with every word that's coming out of your mouth there. What I would agree with is if we do have rain, it does change the outlook. I do think it becomes more of a vanilla game plan, similar to, again, what you described there with regard to the game against Washington in 2019, where it was just ugly, right? Defense ruled the day. You focused on the run game, couldn't really get the ball moving. If it's not quite monsoon weather, and let me just say, the advantage to having a game like that, and I think you stated this as well, is it basically puts the league on notice. Hey, this 49ers team is built to win regardless of whether they need to lean on Lance this season or not. They are built to win with a defense, with a run game. And oh, by the way, if Lance ends up being good, we could be easy favorites in the postseason, in my humble opinion, because of those other factors, because of how stellar those are going to be. And this is the chance to prove it, to have a game where you don't need to lean on Lance, where you can lean on those other strengths and put people on notice. My only fear on the defensive side of the ball, it's the part that's unproven to me, and it's with the loss of DJ Jones. Have to put up the arbitrary barbecue shot. Can the 49ers still be as stout against the run as they were last year? So that'll be the biggest test for me in this game, making sure that we don't get gashed a little bit. When I put up my score prediction, I had the Chicago Bears kicking several field goals, because that's my fear, that maybe David Montgomery and Justin Fields will gash us a little bit in the middle of the field until we get down into our side. And then the defense tightens up a little bit. It's easier to play the run while playing the pass, and the defense will hold them to field goals. If it's sloppier, if the rain is really coming down, that could affect the game in its entirety. Could be a very low scoring affair. But I will just want to make sure that we're not allowing touchdowns. I'm okay with field goals. I'm okay if they're moving the ball a little bit, because I think the Bears may have a pretty decent run game by the end of this year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't have that, based on what I saw in the preseason, I don't have that worried of up the gut, because we didn't see a lot of Armstead and Kinlaw playing together up the gut. So I really can't, I don't have that concern, because I don't have any evidence that's a concern right now. Kinlaw's played like a monster in his limited playing time. So
he
to
has
me,
looked good.
So I don't have that right now, but I will say, if it gets nasty, it's going to be hard for them to get gashed just because of footing. It's going to be a mosh posh of the big boys. It's going to be a lot of going around the outside. well, that's go ahead, try to go on the outside with our linebacker speed. That's probably not going to work out for them. So I really, if it's not a monsoon, if it's just wet, it is grass. It's not turf. They are right on Lake Michigan. We don't know what the wind's going to be like when you get in those types of rainy games either. I just don't think there's going to be a lot of passing opportunities, even with Shanahan at 3rd and 12. If we have a penalty, he's going to just live to play the next series.
Right.
Will the Bears rookie head coach have the cojones to want to put Justin Fields in positions against that defense if you're not 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 to really take chances? I don't know. We'll see, because we have no evidence either way with this guy.
No.
But I just think the toughness of the 49ers O-line from a running perspective, I just don't think the Bears are going to be up to that task. I don't see it. Roquan Smith, I think he's a good player, but he's going to mentally give up in the third quarter if we're just running down their freaking throats.
Fair to wonder after the offseason that he had in wanting to get out of Chicago and not getting that wish. Along with field conditions to monitor, the Bears just hyped up this idea that they've now put in Bermuda grass, right? They have replaced the grass on the field. If it is a monsoon, it's fairly fresh. You have to wonder if there will be significant footing issues there. So something I'll be monitoring there from the stands. Very excited about that. Do you have a player that you're most excited to see on each side of the ball as far as who you're really intrigued by on offense, might have a breakout game, and then on the other side on defense?
Well, because I agree Kittle's not going to play this game, I'd like to go in the passing game on this, but unfortunately, I just don't think it's going to be a passing game because of the weather. So it's going to change because of the weather. So if it is rainy, I want to see if Dwelly Warner can block in replacement of Kittle the way we need them to in a game where we need to run. So that's what I'm going to look for from an offensive perspective. I'm not worried about the blocking of Ayuk and Debo. That's proven. Yeah. I'm not worried about Juice. He's proven. I'm not even worried about our O-line in a run blocking scenario.
Right. They've proven they can do that quite well.
Yeah. Defensively, it's going to change again for me too. I wanted to see Travarius Ward because we put the money there. We're going to be tested. My guess is D'Amico Ryans is going to try to put him on an island as much as possible so that we can be strong and healthy on the other 3 quarters of the field. Yeah. But in this game, I don't know if that's going to play out. Right. So I'm going to change it. And I'm going to go directly to Azeez or Greenlaw, depending on who's out there. Because Warner, all indications are he's trying to get back to All-Pro Fred.
Right.
So I'm just going to let Fred be Fred. But Azeez and Greenlaw, with the competition and friendship they have, how fast can you play on the edges? Because I think you're going to see a lot of dump offs, a lot of screens, a lot of quick passing to where the tackles are going to be racked up outside the hashes, close to the line of scrimmage.
If it's a poor weather game, you would expect the linebackers to have a lot of work there. They're going to be flying around there. And it is important to call out that Azeez and Greenlaw are both going to be fighting for that next contract all season long. So they're going to be looking to put a lot of good tape out there for those next teams coming in to pay them, hopefully, big money contracts. Maybe the Niners retaining one of the two. That would at least be my wish. Okay, so I like that. You're looking at primarily the blocking without Kittle in there. So I would guess Charlie Warner probably gets the start there, but you'll be mixing in Dwelly and Warner throughout the game as those as the first and second tight ends with Kittle out there. Interesting to see if they'll be able to hold up, whether they'll be chipping on the edge to add support if, in fact, McGlinchey is still hampered with an injury, or if he's not out there, although that doesn't seem to be the way in which it's trending for Sunday. All right, I like those. Any prediction as to whether it's going to be the obvious choice at running back who has the most impressive day in Elijah Mitchell, who's getting the start, or whether you believe it may be the veteran in Jeff Wilson Jr. or a dark horse candidate?
Only because of the weather, everyone's going to get their ops. Because if we were playing on a fast surface, we'd be playing the hot hand. The hot hand in bad weather is who holds on to the football.
Yeah.
So if we have Elijah Mitchell putting it on the ground, well, he's going to automatically, by the way Shanahan rolls, next is going to be Wilson. Then it'll be TDP. So this one's really tough for me to say because of the weather specifically, but I think they're all going to get touches, so they all get beat up accordingly or evenly, so that we don't go into next week in the early parts of the season with one guy getting 100 yards and just toasted and out on Wednesday's practice, right? So I'm going to assume that'll be pretty even. I really hope he doesn't put in a lot of Trey Lance running in this type of weather, because if they already know you're running, then just use the guys who are there to run.
Right.
Let Lance live another day, but we'll see.
Let him live. Let the man live.
But the one guy I brought up earlier, it's not on the offense, that I really am going to pay attention in this game on third downs when they are going to have to pass. I really want to see how the matchup, like we used to have with Buckner and Bosa, I want to see the 99 we have now, Kinlaw. I want to see if Kinlaw on those passing downs, if he can get enough fear in the offensive coordinators to draw the center to him. Because if you can draw the center to him, you're going to have one-on-ones with Bosa. Oof. If that's how Bosa racked up his rookie year, you had a lot of one-on-ones because of Buckner. They're not going to respect him in the beginning of the game. They're going to be helping out with Bosa.
Right.
So if Kinlaw can go in there and start doing damage, that now sets up week 2, week 3, week 4, etc. And I really think that can be devastating on that side of the football.
I like that call out. So looking for Kinlaw, particularly early in the game, to wreck shop, trying to come out in a physical nature, which he has been to this point. Up until now, I'm impressed with what I've seen. If he holds up all year, I'm optimistic for what the results are going to be. This would be another opportunity for a tone setter in this one. Because anything else that you're looking for in this matchup? Sorry, go ahead, Sean.
No, it's okay. Real quick to finish that up, because if you want your prediction, if you want your bold prediction to be true, it ain't going to be true if Kinlaw doesn't do his part.
Amen to that.
Happen. How are you going to get 20.5 sacks when you can just chip and protect all day long and not worry about the guy next to him? It's just not going to. Aldon Smith had Justin Smith.
Yes, he did.
Bosa had Buckner. I mean, it's just you need that guy in there to clog up to give you one-on-one. So he's got to do that. And if he can do that, my God, he's going to – really, we can swing the defense to the other side of the field with our linebackers. Because I don't think anyone's going to be running the ball or trying to bring it back that way, especially with the way Bosa tracks when he tails a lot of those guys that stop and cut back. He gets a lot of TFLs in those scenarios that a lot of people don't recognize.
He does. He's got a motor.
But, okay, so to go on anything else, I want to see the game plan. Kyle Shanahan. I want to see what game plan he puts together, because even if it rains, it may be modified. But, Kyle, show me now for the first time, knowing since the schedule came out, knowing you're planning for Chicago, which we played last year with the same quarterback, so no matter what, it's the same guy. Right. I don't care if they have a rookie coach. You're one of the top minds in the game. Show me what your intention is with week 1. I want to see where your mind is at. If we have to run, we know we 49er fans know when we're going to run. I mean, shoot, we just know when we're going to run. We can tell by the formation when we're going to run. On those passing downs, can he scheme guys open in a nasty environment to give Trey Lance confidence? Because at the end of the day, that 22-year-old or 21-year-old, if he can come out of this game in nasty conditions against a subpar team, but put on a performance because he knew the game plan allowed him to, for the first time ever, because the game plan last year was, hey, man, just run the damn ball. Just get out there and just run and just get beat up. That's not going to be the game plan anymore. So I want to see, what does he do so that we can get a glimpse of what he sees in this offense from a potential. Outside of Danny Gray bombs every once in a while, that's going to be tough to do in this environment. Just show me that. Give me a glimpse of what you're looking to do, because next week against Seattle, they're dog crap. So it should be the same type of deal. We're going to build to the next week, but you've got to come out here and perform, because we're playing 2 terrible teams, 2 good teams, and 2 terrible teams. No time to play games. You just need to come out here and put the foot on the gas and just move on to the next week. As healthy as possible.
Stay aggressive. I love it. So getting a glimpse of what that offensive identity might start to look like. Hopefully the weather will allow for that, because if it does devolve into that monsoon type of weather, then you just really won't get a taste of what the rest of the season will look like. It becomes a one-off game. But as long as it's decent out there, we should get that first look at how Shanahan plans to use Trey Lance. Now, that will evolve throughout the season, obviously, as with Jimmy in 2019, as Shanahan got confidence in Jimmy coming back from that knee injury, the offense began to do more throughout that season. I would expect the same with Lance. Well, I'm looking forward to it, my friend, and I know that we will be talking next week to break it down afterward.
100% bold. This isn't bold to me, but I'll just say bold prediction. Chicago total offense under 150 yards for the game.
Total offense under 150. You heard it here first, folks. Appreciate that bold prediction.
Last time I did that was Dallas in the playoffs last year, and I was right until Jimmy threw that pick and gave them another 40 yards.
Damn, Jimmy.
I'm telling you.
Well, he won't be doing that at this game.
He'll be watching.
That's right. All right, my friend. Enjoy the game. I will talk to you soon, sir.
You got it, man. All love, buddy. Have a good one.
Take care. All right, we are bringing in Bullpup 33 to the program. Wanted to get to a couple of comments as well. Kevin coming in, Sneakerhead on the channel says, funniest weather thing on a game. A lot of people in the comments talking about the weather in California, weather in Chicago, you name it. Says, funniest weather thing on a game day report was some guy on TV calling humidity humidity. Yes, that every now and then on the live stream, people just get tripped up with their words. All right, wanted to... Jerome M. Door slams, running feet. Rob, I'm here. What did I miss? Hey, fam, nothing to this point. Just talking Niners. You can go back. You can see everything we've been talking about. Who are we watching? Good stuff. Good calls. All sorts of things were missed. All sorts of stuff. All right, we're bringing in Bullpup 33 to the stream. Bullpup, welcome in. Are you excited for live football on the horizon?
Rob, all I got to say is game day.
Game day.
That's it. I mean, it's been a long wait. It's been a long off season.
Has this felt like one of the longest off seasons in memory? Like it feels longer than last off season, and last off season felt like a crazy one.
It has. It just felt like an eternity. But what I'm really looking forward to this year, and especially these first couple games, I'm going with the youth movement.
Ooh, I like that. Who most specifically are you really thrilled by or intrigued by?
I think the whole youth gang, the whole the young guns too is what I'm going to call them.
Yeah,
I want to see Drake's name mentioned during the game.
Drake Jackson.
Yep, I want to see Danny Gray give headaches to the defensive coordinator of the Bears.
Take the top off of that thing, Danny.
I want to see Womack have a pick or two.
I'm telling you, pick six. I'm calling it.
I want to see Trey manage the game.
Yes, look calm, look cool, look collected.
Like he belongs.
Yes.
I want to see Huff have an impact now that he's pretty much a starter.
I'd like to see him lay the wood, man. That guy can hit.
I mean, we haven't had one of those since Hittner, since Dante Hittner.
Dante Hittner. Man, what about that Saints game in the playoffs where he changed the momentum in the first quarter with that hit? He was a stud.
So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the youth movement. I want to see even, heck, there might be some guys that might surprise us that, we didn't think about, like,
hey, you
maybe
got
all
Banks,
of a sudden,
you got Banks and Burford are both going to be out there. So,
so maybe him, or maybe all of a sudden TDP busts out some runs and we're like, ooh, well,
I have to think that only between TDP and Mason, that only one of the two would be active. My guess would be that it's TDP. And so if it's going to be one of the young running backs, you would think it would have to be Ty Davis Price.
Yeah. And I'm kind of going to throw Kinlaw in there, although he's not really, this is what, third year now, second year, third.
Right. Third.
But he's still a young player because I always thought because of his injuries, he still has some catching up to do. So I'm going to throw him in the mix in there. So we got Kinlaw, Womack, another one that we haven't talked about, and it's going to be huge come actually when things start going for real, is going to be Charvarius Ward.
Yes, Mooney Ward.
He is going to be the difference maker, I think, in the secondary, because if we can, it's not quite Dion, but he could potentially have the Dion effect where one side of the field is locked down.
Right.
Then that free safety is literally free to roam around in 2/3 of the field instead of having to do with, the whole field. Cuts the field in half almost.
Absolutely.
So and he doesn't have to be Dion. It doesn't have to be, but if he's good enough to mimic him, if he gives him some big plays now and then, that's fine. But if for most of the game he's got this guy handled on his side, that's going to make a big difference, I think.
Huge difference. It's going to give DeMeco Ryans the opportunity to actually blitz a bit more, right? That's going to free up an additional rusher if he wants to get aggressive on defense. Certainly it creates a mismatch for the 49ers if they're able to lock down that side of the field.
Yeah. And you mentioned him, and you got a great point, is that I want to see the growth of DeMeco Ryan as well.
Yes.
I think,
absolutely. He had great
I think yes. So, your prior caller said it. We want to see how Kyle is going to approach it.
Yeah.
Right. We want to see how DeMeco Ryan is growing. So it's the youth movement. That's what I'm going to call it.
I like it. I like the youth movement will be on display in Chicago because this team is going to go as far as the youth movement can carry them. There are a lot of people filling in for savvy veterans that left last year. Trey Lance included. Whatever you want to say about Jimmy Garoppolo, he is a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL, and you're now transitioning on to a younger, less experienced individual. You certainly got a couple of fill-in guys, filling in for Laken Tomlinson, filling in for DJ Jones, which means I have to show the barbecue sauce anytime I say DJ Jones. Yes, so there is the youth movement will have to prove themselves. What do you think they will do? Are the 49ers going to be able to beat up on what appears to be a lesser Chicago roster?
So I don't think anytime you play a team at home and an NFL team, it's always hard.
Yes.
I don't
first game of the season too.
First game of the season, they're the home team, you're the away team. You got the home cooking on their side. From a fan point of view, this is what I would say. From a fan point of view, I want to see this as a preseason game.
Okay.
From this respect. I don't care if it's ugly. I don't care if there's some mistakes. Let's get the win. Let's get out of there without injuries. That's the main goal of this game. Let's get it behind us. I don't care if we don't blow them out. I don't care if the 1-point win. I don't care if Robbie Gould does a field goal at the end of the game. I don't care.
I think
get out of there with the W. Get out of there healthy. That is a huge win in my book.
That's a very astute observation. Getting the win, getting out of there healthy. It does feel an awful lot like the goals going into a preseason game in that regard. Quesadilla Thrilla, Sneakerhead here on the channel coming in, echoing a bit of that sentiment. He says, perfect game for some smash mouth football and for Kittle to rest and McGlinchey to get right as well. Smash mouth football, just worry about the win. Doesn't matter how it happens. Just out physical the other team. You have the more talented roster. You have the bigger bodies that should be able to win in the trenches on both sides of the ball, in particular when it comes to the run game on offense and getting after the passer on defense. Got to take advantage of those advantages for the 49ers.
And if we're going to have bad weather, do you want to take your deep shots early in the game while the field is still good?
I do. While that Bermuda grass is still nice and lush, I'm going to be taking my shots to Danny Gray and Ray McLeod.
And let's not forget, we still have a guy named Brandon Ayuk that I think is going to be off the charts this year.
I agree. I've been going heavy on Brandon Ayuk in fantasy football, trying to get him on many, many rosters.
So we got to look. We have a lot to look forward to. I think it's going to be a great season. It's going to be a good season. We're going with the youth movement. Hopefully they're so young they don't know that they're not supposed to do what they're supposed to do. Maybe bring home number 6. So
yes. They don't even know the pressure that's on them. They're too young to understand the pressure that's on them. Let the youth movement carry us. I think we get the W. Any prediction on the final score?
25-17. How's that? Don't ask me how I get to 25-17. It just popped up.
It covers the spread, and I'll take that. That's what I've predicted as well. I love it. Thank you for the call. I look forward to breaking it down next week when we're talking about a W.
All right.
Take care. Enjoy the game. All right. We are bringing in Jaguar 56 into the stream. Jaguar, welcome in. How are you doing, sir?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Doing very well. Super excited for the fact that we are now mere days away from 49er football. It's honestly just dawning on me that I'm going to be leaving for Chicago in less than 48 hours. I sort of need to get ready for my trip. Got to pack up all of my travel podcast equipment, the cameras, little mics, because I'm going to be trying some new things in Chicago. So I'm realizing that I need to get on top of that right now. So I'm excited. I got a lot of nervous energy. I want to see what this team is made of. And I think I'm feeling confident that they're made of something special this year.
And we're going to look forward to your in-depth reporting.
Yes, I am looking forward to doing that. There will definitely be a pregame show, a parking lot show. There'll be some pictures and stuff for sneakerheads about the restaurants that I find in the area, certainly documenting the travels. And then definitely we'll have the postgame, hopefully a postgame celebration live inside the stadium, and then a postgame breakdown of the show from the hotel room once I get back there.
Good stuff. So I just want to go real quickly. I'll say the thing that I'm going to be looking for is the O-line play, right? The O-line, the blocking, the pass protection, and they wanted to stay disciplined. No dumb penalties. We cannot afford penalties, especially if it turns into a quagmire there with a rain. If it turns into a monsoon.
Great call out. A couple of penalties going the wrong way can be the difference in a close one-score game.
I mean, it could be down to field goals.
Yes.
And a dumb penalty here or there, they get an extra 3 points when they shouldn't get it. And, that could be the difference in the game. And of course, the run game, if they block well, I'm expecting the run game to really carry the day, I think.
I agree with that. And I do believe, as an earlier caller stated, that it'll be sort of the hot hand approach. Everyone will get their carries. My expectation is that it's Jordan Mason, who's not in uniform. Could be wrong about that. So my guess being Elijah Mitchell, TDP, and Jeff Wilson Jr., Jeff Wilson being the backup there. I see BK from the Bay coming in saying TDP. I think that was in reference to the earlier question of who might be the back that gets the most production. Do you have a sense? Do you think it's going to be Elijah Mitchell because he gets the most carries, or will it be the more sure-handed veteran in Jeff Wilson Jr. if we are dealing with rain?
I mean, I would probably start the veteran. I would start Wilson because I haven't seen Mitchell at all. I don't know. Have you gotten any reports on whether who's going to start that, or he hasn't said anything?
He hasn't. We haven't gotten a look at Mitchell because he has been treated as the first string running back. So the assumption there, based on that treatment that he got throughout preseason, is that he will be the unquestioned, starter. But an unquestioned starter in Kyle Shanahan's offense does not necessarily mean that you end up getting the most carries in a game or in a season at all. But it is expected that he will be the starter at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, and the weather, if it's going to be raining, turnovers are going to be a big deal.
Yes, they are.
We can't commit turnovers. We have to take the ball away. That'll give Trey, a shorter field, hopefully, and he can take advantage of that.
Yes.
So I also think that with Trey, the thing that I believe the coordinator for the Bears, I believe he's gonna throw the kitchen sink at Trey, and he's gonna force him. He's gonna force him to make the right read, quickly get rid of the ball, make the right read, and dump it off or over the middle or wherever. But I think he's gonna force him. He's gonna put pressure on him.
I could absolutely see that being the case, right? You got a new quarterback. Only got 2 starts last season. He's coming in a very complex offense, an offense where you would expect them to run the ball a considerable amount. And so if you come at them heavy, right, you're probably not going to get torched over the top of the defense. You're putting a lot of pressure on Trey Lance. You hopefully rattle him. If you are the Chicago Bears, that's going to be the game plan. And if you're the 49ers, you have to hope that Trey is ready for that he has the checks at the line of scrimmage, that Kyle Shanahan has set him up for success in the correct play calls, and that the 49ers run game is stout enough to continue to pick up those tough yards at the beginning of the game and force the Bears defense to adjust.
Exactly. And the other one that I'm really looking forward to is Kinlaw. Kinlaw is I believe him and McGlinchey will be the X factors going forward, and even in Sunday's game. And so I'm really curious to see how he plays. Hopefully he plays good. He looks good during the preseason. He looked pretty good. Um, and also the safeties. I want to see how how does Hufanga play? How does he play? You know, did he learn? How's his film study? Is he going to make the right read? Is he going to be there? I don't have no qualms about him when he gets there making a hit. He's a good tackler. But that the safety position I'm a little curious about. And of course, you know, the Bears, I think with a new coach, I think they have nothing to lose really. I mean, everybody thinks they're going to lose. So they have to, you know, they say, you know what, game one, let's just throw everything at the Niners.
Nothing to lose.
See what and see what happens. But I think the score will be 27-17 Niners.
27-17 Niners. Yes. I like it.
Yes. And, but I just want to tell you, safe travels, enjoy the food, and, you know, bring home the win, and stay blessed.
I will do that. I will definitely. We're almost in lockstep on the score prediction. I went 28-16, and I'm definitely planning to stay safe. Loving the fact that I'm going to be in Chicago with some great food. I hope that you and your family stay blessed as well. Always appreciate our dialogues.
All right, you stay safe, and look forward to next week.
Me too. Take care. Right. Enjoy the game. Enjoy it.
Bye-bye.
Take care. All right, we are absolutely bringing in a special guest. The notorious GAV says, stand by for some Captain Juice talk right now. You know him, you love him. He comes in from across the pond, the man that hails from Wales, bringing in the notorious GAV to the stream. Gav, how you doing, my friend?
It's me, it's Notorious G-A-V. What's up, Rob? What's up, my friend? He hails from Wales. That's a killer line. I love it.
From here on out, my friend, that will be your introduction on this show. There is no doubt about that. It was not intentional. Every now and then, my brain just links a couple of things together, but it came out, and I said to myself, hot damn, that's fire right there. I'm running with it.
You don't even know it, mate. Right, before we start about the Captain Juice talk, I want to arc back to what Sean was saying, right? And he said, for your sack prediction, you're going to need Kinlaw to stay healthy, right?
So true.
Yeah, sort of, right? I think, right, you're all sleeping on Kerry Hyder, see? Right, and I think that if Kinlaw, right, God forbid anything happens, right, I'm not wishing anything on him, right, but if something did happen, I think Kerry Hyder will step in. He can play the inside, he can play outside, right, and I think that everyone's sleeping on him. Everyone is sleeping on him. You need to stop it right now, guys, right, because he's a damn good player, especially under Chris Kasurik, right, and he's going to come out and ball this year, and I've been saying it for weeks, right, so you don't worry about your sack prediction. It's in good hands because Kerry Hyder's there, right? Trust me, right?
I like it because Kerry Hyder has been productive with Chris Kasurik, right? Was back in Detroit 2016, racked up 8 sacks. With the Niners 2020, 8.5 sacks. It's the relentless motor of Kerry Hyder. It is the ability to play inside and outside. And you're right, wasn't getting the level of respect. Hell, when people were putting together 53-man rosters, he was on the fringe.
Yeah,
he was sometimes getting left out for Kamoko Toure, right? And it ended up, Kerry Hyder made it. I think they love that flexibility. I believe you're right. I think you're probably looking at a 5-sack season for Kerry Hyder with the number of snaps he's going to get. That's no joke.
That's what I'm predicting. I'm not going massive. I'm not going huge. I'm not saying he's going to have like 10, 15. I'm saying 5-6 sacks, right? And he's going to have a productive season if he's given the snaps. Definitely. I think, everyone needs to stop sleeping on him. Stop sleeping on him right now. We saw what he could do 2 years ago, right?
Right.
I mean, and we got him at the bargain price. And I'm going to say now, I never doubted that he was going to make the 53-man roster. He's from Wales. Yes. I never doubted that he was going to make the team. I honestly thought that he would definitely make the team. right? So
Yes.
yeah, right. So anyway, right, let's get back to right the subject at hand, right? Kyle Juszczyk, Captain Juice, right?
Kyle
And
Juszczyk, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is it.
right, yesterday, right, I had a question of faith, right, yesterday, right? When I saw the captains announced, right, I honestly, right, my heart sunk, right?
I bet.
Now, like, excuse my language now, right, yeah, what pisses me off, right, yeah, right, and I'm not having to dig at anybody, but there's a lot of outrage for Trey not being a captain in his second year, but Kyle Juszczyk is a 7-year vet now, right, yeah, with the 49ers, right? There's not many players who've been on the team longer than him, right? Nobody deserves him more than him, right? And he didn't even, there are people saying it, but I think there should be more people saying, why didn't we get Captain Juice? So can you explain the mindset to me in the locker room, right? Why he didn't get voted as a captain? What do you think? Do you think it's because he's just a fullback, or well, why do you think he didn't get it?
I do think that factors into it, whether correct or incorrect. Going back to what McGlinchey said, and you echoed this, Gavin, I thought it was so apropos. McGlinchey said, hey, you don't have to wear a C on your chest to be a leader on this team. And that is the fact for Kyle Juszczyk. That's just, everyone recognizes it. When he comes to the podium, he speaks so eloquently as if he's another coach on the team. And you wonder if, as sort of that elder statesman, as that very intelligent, Harvard-educated man that he is, if he's seen a bit more as like a coach on that roster. I will admit, I was surprised where he didn't crack the top 8. But you look at the 6 captains, you can't question too heavily any of those choices. Number 7 being Trey Lance. You can question, hey, why didn't we stick with 7 captains this year so that our nice young quarterback can be one of them? But then Debo after that, right? So I also was frustrated not to see Juice get that recognition, but I have to look at that list of 6 and the 2 that came after it and acknowledge that when I take into consideration that Juice does play a fullback role, while it's important on the 49ers, doesn't quite have the same level of importance. I would think maybe that factors into it. It does feel unfortunate. His tenure with the team seems to warrant getting that nod. I was disappointed for Juice. I was disappointed for you, my friend.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people reach out and say they were disappointed for me, etc., etc. And I've had a lot of love off the faithful. I have over the last 48 hours. I have. So I just want to give the faithful a shout out right here and say thank you very much. Right? Especially the ones right here who were liking the pictures, right? Who were sharing the tweets on Twitter that I was putting out right here. You're the real faithful. You are, guys, right here, and it means a lot to me, right? Today now, right, I've taken a day off, I have, from the Captain Juice pictures. I thought I'm just going to have one day off, right, yeah. I got a poll up now on Twitter. I could share my screen if I want. No, we'll leave that. Right, but I got a poll on Twitter and basically asking people if I should continue the Captain Juice project. And it's not. I only had like 85 votes, right? But that's a lot of votes for me, right? Yeah, considering I'm a nobody from Wales, right? Yeah.
Hey, 85 votes is no joke, my friend.
Yeah, but it's 65 to 35%, and everybody thinks that I should continue.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, that's what surprised me as well. Yeah, so I'm thinking about keeping it going. I'm obviously going to hit like day 500 if I do. But the thing is, right, I thought this year was his shot. I thought this year has got to be this year.
Yeah.
And if he's not going to get it this year, is he going to get it next year? So is it any point me carrying it on? I don't know. I'm having a question of faith myself. Like,
it's a fair question, and I understand it. I think the priority here, Gav, should be your sanity. That whatever feels right to you should be the way in which you go. Not the way the faithful feel. How does Gav feel about doing this for another year? If it's exciting, if you want to bring in, collaborations and reach out to, me again, I'd provide another one, reach out to other content creators. That I could get behind. But if it's torture for you, my friend, I say forget about it, lay it aside. You made a valiant effort. I thought for sure. I mean, players got wind of it. That's how good your effort was, my friend.
Right, the thing is, though, if I keep it going, right, it's going to snowball, right? It'll be like a snowball effect, right? And if it's day 500 now, right? Do you mean? And people are saying, why haven't we got Captain Juice? And this idiot from Wales is still posting pictures, right? I mean, I think maybe next year I might have a bigger voice than what I had this year. And I thought I had a massive voice this year. I thought I was shouting from the rafters for Captain Juice.
Yes.
So maybe next year, right? I don't know. I'm gonna have a think about it tonight, and I'm gonna make my decision tomorrow. I am.
I love it. I absolutely love it, Gav. Well, I wanted to bring this in. This super chat was coming in. I didn't want to cut the flow, though. This is Chris Royal. We have to get this one in here. Shout out,
Chris.
Yes, to the Niner Empire in Salem. That was the good crew that had me down to their barbecue recently. Had a phenomenal time with Chris and his family. I absolutely loved it. He says, getting ready to watch the game with the Niner Empire Salem crew at Buffalo Wild Wings. Killing the content, as always, my friend. Chris, appreciate the super chat. Have a fantastic time watching the game tonight. Enjoy some food. Get too many wings shoved into your face, as one needs to do at Buffalo Wild Wings. Gav, if you come over here to the U.S., we'll show you how we eat. We eat real serious like. We like to really shovel food into our face, man. That's just the American way.
None of that crappy fish and chips.
That's right, my friend.
So I know you've been asking people now their predictions for the score for the Bays game, right? I'm predicting, right? It's like you said about the weather. The weather conditions could have an adverse effect on the game. So I'm predicting a very low-scoring game. I am, right? I think it's going to be a defensive masterclass. We're going to see, right? It's going to be hardly any touchdowns. It could come down to a field goal, right? Doing something like that, it could. Right, so I'm saying either 17-14 Niners or 14-10 Niners. Yes,
I like those. Low-scoring affair, taking into account the weather. If the weather does turn as it's predicted, I'm going to need to change my prediction as well, because the score that I've got up, there's just no way it's happening if it is, in fact, a rainy one.
Yeah. We saw it with the Washington game, didn't we? And that was a washout. And what was the score with that? Like 9-6 or something stupid like that, wasn't it?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know. But, right, the running back that's going to get the most carries, right, that's going to go off, I think, is going to be Jeff Wilson Jr., Jack Hammer, right? Shout out Jack Hammer, right? Again, right? As always, like, right? That guy, right? Yeah, is an absolute godsend, right? Yeah, that guy, right, has been one of my major motivations behind the Captain Juice art project, right? Yeah, that guy, right? Yeah. Oh, he's just an absolute inspiration. So let's get some hammers in the chat for Jack Hammer. Let's go and subscribe to his channel, right? Yeah. Show the Press Democrats some love, right? Yeah. All that love, right? Yeah. Because Jack Hammer is the GOAT and he deserves all that love he does, right?
I love it.
But he has sold me. He has sold me on Jeff Wilson Jr.
Yes, he has. Me too. I went out and picked him up in fantasy football, man.
There we go. Right, he's hardly ever wrong. Jack Hammer isn't like he's very reliable doing with his predictions, and he sees the players. He's hit all the training practices, and he's been high on Jeff Wilson Jr. from the start. Like, and we also have to remember the season that Jeff Wilson Jr. was having before he went down injured, because he was on fire. He was that year. Right, 2020. Do you mean? Was it the end of the end of 2020? And he was on fire. So I think, he's going to come out and have a massive game, I think. Like, do you mean? And, I think we're in safe hands, but there we are.
I love it. I am all for Jeff Wilson Jr. That is my pick as well, as far as the running back that shows the most on Sunday. If you had asked me during the preseason, I never would have guessed that, but that's where I am. And I also credit Jack Hammer for bringing me around to understanding where Jeff Wilson Jr. was on that depth chart. Gav, I hope that we are able to get together and talk about a win next week, because that's what I want to break down.
Yeah. Before I got one last bold prediction. Right, last week I predicted that Kyle Juszczyk would go for 500 yards and over 500 yards and 4 touchdowns. Like this week now, I'm predicting Defensive Rookie of the Year, Samuel Womack. Jack Hammer, you're a legend, mate. You sold me again on another player, right? Yeah, Samuel Womack, he is going to be legit this year.
Samuel Womack, yes, I'm with you on that. Absolutely in lockstep on Samuel Womack having himself a season. Always appreciate the call, Gav. Yes. Always appreciate the work that you did trying to get Captain Juice to happen. It was the good work. Everyone that knows it and saw it appreciates it.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much, Rob. Like, you've been an absolute legend. You've been showing my Captain Juice stuff off as well, and you've been a big, massive part of it as well. You have, so thank you as well, Rob.
I appreciate it, Gav. Always, my friend.
Well, I'll talk to you next week, right?
Most definitely. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, we're bringing in Kurt. Kurt, sorry, that was a quick one. I was removing Gav, but he dropped off, and that was a boom. You were in, but you were ready. You were ready for it.
That last one was awesome. So
yes, dude.
How am I supposed to respond to that? It's like,
Gav's enthusiasm was contages. So just soak it in and let it come right back out of you, my friend. That's the way in which it goes. He always fires me up, man. That energy, the commitment to Captain Juice. Gav is a good dude.
He is an outstanding salesperson. That man,
no doubt about it.
Captain. And anyway, it's good. Great job, Gav, wherever you are in southwestern British Isles. Anyway,
yes, indeed.
So I have a few things here. And first off, thank you for letting me come on here. I've been trying to do this for a long time. And
absolutely.
Life is nuts for me. So I'm glad this is able to work. Anyway, so first time, long time. The first TD of the year. I said this in one of the chats a few days ago. So last year, Jimmy rolls down the field. Right. It's looking great. Everything is looking like it's primed. We put in Trey Lance, and I'm like, okay, here's we're going to run it in. No, we throw a touchdown. Okay, that was unusual.
Yes, it was.
In perfect irony, we're going to need Trey Lance to move down the field, and then Jimmy Garoppolo come into to 4th and goal, sneak it from the inch line, and then that'll be the culminating of the baton, if you will, for Trey Lance. Is like that's the last bizarre little step in this whole process.
The true handoff from one quarterback to the next. Bring in Jimmy for that patented 1 yard sneak right on 4th and goal.
In the league better than Jimmy Garoppolo if you need 1 inch. He's 27 of 27, right?
He's so good at that.
Perfect.
He learned from the best, Tom Brady, right? I mean, nobody does that short yardage sneak better than Brady, and that's
Tom Brady's a big man. Jimmy Garoppolo is a normal sized person. He's just really good at QB sneaking.
Really good.
So another one of the things, $200 on both to win Defensive Player of the Year. So that pays out $3,200. I feel pretty good about it. I mean, non-homer glasses on, he's one of 4 or 5 players that's really in contention because it's a popularity contest. And so you kind of have to have, it's the year after the year is really the year you win it. And so
true.
Right. So he's already, the popularity contest is there. I mean, there are websites about his quads. So check that box. And so now it's really just, can you get 20 sacks? And the man is amazing. So let's go make maybe some money here.
Yes, I think that's a solid bet and a good payout for that bet. I agree.
15 to 1 odds when I think he's like one of the top 4 players that's going to win it. That seems to me like that's value right there.
That is good value. I appreciate, speaking of value, Jaguar 56 Sneakerhead here on the channel coming in to say, Rob, hope you enjoy your game day experience. Blessing. Appreciate that, Jaguar. Honestly, so generous. Appreciate the well wishes. I will have a great time in Chicago. No doubt about that.
I wish I was there.
Yes, it will be a good one. Good food, hopefully a good fan base, good grass on the field, hopefully good weather. Probably not. I'll probably bring the rain with me.
The rain, when you're embracing being just completely soaked to the bone, it's still good.
Yes, that's what I'm all about. Honestly, as someone who moved to Portland, right, from Southern California, go from a desert environment up to the frickin' monsoons of Oregon, you just have to embrace, like, you can do everything you want to do in the rain. It is just water. You can be wet. You don't melt. And when you go out there and you just embrace that, especially on a Sunday when you're out watching football and just say, I'm going to be soaked, miserable. I'm going to eat some game day food and I'm going to have a shit-eating grin on my face the entire time. It's fun.
So guess who wasn't a team captain in 2018?
Oh, Jimmy G was not a team captain in 2018.
Well, okay, fair enough. He wasn't a captain either, but I was going with Mahomes here.
So in his second year?
His 5,050 season, which again is just an albatross of a season. He was not the captain yet because again, he hadn't done anything, right? So this whole argument is nonsense. I mean,
it really is.
Yeah.
It's being well blown out of proportion. It seems to get run with by one reporter, and then instead of going and getting a source, reporters will report on another reporter's opinion of what that means, and it becomes a bigger storyline.
This is the 49ers sports version of the 2016 election, right? Is that it's just the misinformation keeps piling on top of each other.
Yeah.
Anyway, so again, you can't have 8, and Debo was 8th. So if you bring 7, like you did last year,
right
now it becomes the story that you didn't include Debo, who is ostensibly the best player on the team, and then is the team mad at him. Like, I think that honestly, this was deliberate by Shanahan, and it has nothing to do with Lance. It has everything to do with Debo.
That's interesting. If the cutoff had been 7, he'd have been snubbing Debo instead of being appearing to have snubbed Lance. That's a fascinating one.
That has started 2 games, and again, what do we know about him? Right? I'm a huge Trey Lance fan, but totally, he's very green in the gills still.
Yes, absolutely. By the way, for Alan, just peace of mind, I got the poncho here. I showed it earlier. The official adult rain poncho is ready for Chicago, just in case.
So, score prediction. 22-16, right? It's
22-16. I like the obscure
it's
scores.
Lots of field goals and missed extra points and just like 7 fumbles and it's just a slog. But ultimately, our defensive line there just isn't as much movement when they're on offense as than when we're on offense. And so it's one of those where, what do you gather from this? Well, you gather the dub and you move on.
Yes. I misquoted my own prediction earlier saying it was 28-16. It was actually 27-16. I had the Niners winning by 11, but my prediction of 16 for the Bears was just that. I believe that they will have one breakaway play, probably a schoolyard throw or run from Justin Fields for a touchdown, and then 3 field goals, right? I think they're going to be able to run on us a little bit in the middle of the field. I do think we're moderately suspect against the run, and Chicago's a better rushing team than people give them credit for because the rest of the roster just isn't so great. And then I think that the defense will tighten up and lock them down on field goals. So we're in lockstep on that one.
I feel like Montgomery, again, Javon Kinlaw, please prove to us. Like,
yes.
I want to believe in you, but
please.
If you're not great, then I have Givens, who is not a run stopper, and I have Armstead, who is, but we're trying to we're trying to have 3 things. We're trying to have Armstrong do 3 things at once. Armstead,
yeah.
What am I saying?
I do think you might see more Kerry Hyder or Charles Omenihu being flexed inside if Kinlaw doesn't end up having a great season. That flexibility is going to be cherished.
I see both those guys as the same. They can beat guards one-on-one and rushing the passer. But if we have to anchor, honestly, after Kinlaw, I don't have confidence in anyone other than if we just dedicate Armstead to being run defense, which I guess if he's cool with that, then great. But like, if you're talking about these guys, these are careers, they make money on sacks. They don't make money on stuff in the run. A 2nd and 8 means something to us, but like when contract negotiation comes, like that's a big deal. So, run right up the middle is the one Achilles heel of this team, in my opinion. I think other than that, we're going to beat a lot of teams because we're just going to run through them. And
I think so too.
And our offense is going to be like a little bit clunky, but like there's going to be so many 3 and outs that we're going to have just, silver platter, go kick a field goal. Like, don't even pick up a first down. You just get a field goal because you're going to get an extra few, interceptions. Believe me, I follow this team religiously since first year in college. The only other year I felt like this was 2013, the beginning of season 2013, 2014, after we had missed the Super Bowl last year.
Right.
Cap was the dedicated starter. We had Willis, Bowman, and Alden Smith pre-craziness. And It was just like, we're still the best. We have the best players in the league. And
it sure felt that way.
I feel the same way. And really, I mean, if we can get 20 touchdowns and 15 receptions from Lance, I think that we're well in the way we need to be. And I don't feel like that's really that big of a lift from what I've seen. Like, he's going to do that. He's going to have a few interceptions because of accuracy issues. He's going to hit a few bombs, which is going to be great. And we're going to run the ball and we're going to win. We're going to win football games. So go Niners.
Yes, I totally agree that it doesn't seem like it's going to take a whole hell of a lot from Lance as far as his stat line to be able to put together a phenomenal season because of the way in which this roster is constructed. And I am in alignment with you in saying this roster feels like the most talented one in my memory, going back to those years with Harbaugh there. Some high expectations coming in because it was a stacked roster as well. There is the youth movement that was hinted at on this program earlier. There are some assumptions I'm making that youth movement will play at least to a certain standard, if not a little bit better. But I feel so confident in the players around the youth movement, the core of this team, that I feel even if they struggle to start, even if it's a slow start to this season, the rest of the team will be able to carry the younger ones. And we should still be able to stack up the wins. This team should improve over the course of the season, and we should be raring and ready to go by the time we get into the playoffs.
And Womack will have a whole season under his belt, and Burfer is going to be a little bit bigger because he's 21 years old. He's still lifting, right?
Yes.
And Banks is going to hopefully get his ass towards the ground a little bit more. A little concerned about that, but we'll see where we're at.
Do you have any prediction for a breakout player on either side of the ball that you're really going to be looking at on Sunday?
Dwelly's going to have 2 touchdowns.
Dwelly with 2 touchdowns. The Niner faithful people's tight end,
right? 2 catches. The same seam route. The same seam route. He just boxes the cornerback out. He did it against Seattle, and it's just run this route and just turn around and catch the ball. And you know what? He's got fly trap hands, and that's gonna be 2 TDs. Yeah,
the man has super glue on his paws. Like he comes down with it. That's for sure. It's how he keeps earning himself a spot on the roster.
Keep getting paid, man. Keep getting paid.
That's right. Any surprises on defense where you think we're going to see a flash from somebody?
Jalen Johnson, I think is his name. I'm sure the chat section is going to go nuts. I've kind of been listening to some talk radio from the Chicago fans, and they're super excited about him, and they're really excited to see him against Devo. And to be honest with you, I feel like Devo is not Devo yet. Right. And so I can see them kind of being right there, but what they don't appreciate is they're not ready for Ayuk. They're not ready for Gray, right? Only one of those deep bombs has to hit, and all of a sudden that's a different game. So
they're going to get toasted either by the speed that we now have or get bowled over by somebody like Debo just coming at him full steam.
Or because of weather, let's talk about PIs. Just throw it up in the air and just literally you're going to have to tackle him or he's going to run by you. And so let's collect 30 yards at a time here. And
chuck it up.
That's why we lost in the monsoon against Indianapolis, right? Is that for whatever reason we weren't getting free 30-yard chunks at a time. It's like just throw the ball up there. Defenders can't defend in this slog. So just it's God. Sometimes
it's frustrating.
He is so good and he is so frustrating. And I remember, like, for instance, the game you were at, the winter game in Lambeau. What the hell are we doing motioning Trent Williams on 4th and 1? Like, seriously, we are 27 for 27 with sneaking straight up the middle. What are we doing? He gets too smart for his own good. And hopefully this is the year where Anthony Lynn or someone just gets in his ear and just like, okay, here's an adult card every once in a while. It's okay to just kind of settle down, right?
He needs that in those high pressure moments. I truly believe it. That's fantastic.
Right.
Kurt, this has been
all the things I can talk about. Believe me, it's not a problem for me, but
this has been a phenomenal first call, my friend. I'm absolutely looking forward to making this happen again in the near future.
And by the way, this is where I work. I do lots of cool stuff. I would love to do a collab where we go back and forth, and that would be really cool. And anyway,
I'm all for it, my friend.
Go Niners. Oh God, I have to sleep, right? If I just have the game down. Like,
that's right.
Damn it, there's a few days between now and then.
The fastest way, Tom Bragg points out, 65 more hours until we begin the quest for 6. Best way to get through that, sleep a lot in between now and then. Go to bed early and sleep in, get rested.
That's a better way than just doing Red Bulls until the game.
That's right.
Not recommended by your doctor.
That is right. Absolutely appreciate you. The fans liked it as well. They are in agreement. Thanks so much for calling in.
Sounds good. Gentlemen, everyone, go Niners.
Go Niners. All right, that was a fantastic show. Closing out on the super chat from Kevin, coming in from Glasgow. All right, Kevin, Sneakerhead here on the channel says, here's wee tenor, around $12 for a hot dog on me when you're away, Rob. Thanks for all your shows in the offseason. Glad I found this channel a few months ago and subscribed. Almost new season time. It is that time of year for new subscribers. It is time to continue building the channel. It is time for new content. It is time for new collaborations. It is time for the road trips. I'm very excited for Chicago. Kevin, thank you so much for the kind donation. I will absolutely be buying a hot dog there in Chicago. Feel like you can't go to Chicago and not get yourself a freaking hot dog. I might even have to get it Chicago style. Maybe I'll wait until after the game once we've won, and then I'll wolf down a Chicago style hot dog. Chicago style hot dog. Thank you so much for that, Kevin. Would love to get you on here on the Sneakerhead call in. I know it's late over there where you are, much like Gav. All right, Jerome M. Sneakerhead here on the channel coming in as well, says you need a beer with that hot dog. I appreciate both of you. So much love. I will absolutely be buying myself a drink right alongside that hot dog, taking care of eating in the Windy City. Hopefully, again, going to be victory snacks along the way. The 49ers are coming in. It's any given Sunday. Could be rain. I'm ready for the rain. Got myself that adult rain poncho, the official overpriced nonsense that I'll be wearing over top of my Jerry Rice jersey. I'm hoping that the Niners come in, play physical, play smart, mistake-free football, rely on that defense, get after Justin Fields, contain. Don't allow him those schoolyard plays. Don't allow him to break outside for a big one like we did last year, and then get that run game going. I see Robbie Gould contributing in this one. I think it is a lower scoring affair. I made my call before realizing the rain was so probable. I had it as 27-16. As long as that rain is on the horizon, I will probably lower that prediction. But if it's decent weather, sticking with 27-16, I think we're holding the Bears to a fair number of field goal attempts there. Appreciate those coming in. Rick Diaz coming in with the late chat says, hey, Rob, I'm sorry. I just got into the chat to see your program. Just got here. Sorry, man, but go Niners, my man. Go 9 and ready to rumble Sunday. Go Niners. Yes, Rick. Appreciate the enthusiasm. Appreciate everyone that was here in the chat. As I always say, the energy on the program is that much better when people are here live in the chat. And I appreciate those of you that are watching live. When you hit that like button, it means a great deal. When you subscribe to the channel, that means a great deal to me. And when you hit that bell notification to know when my shows are going live, that means you can always be here and be a part of the dialogue, be a part of the show. I look forward to everybody enjoying the game on Sunday. Stay safe, stay sane, enjoy the game, and go Niners. We will be back on tomorrow with Jack Hammer somewhere around that 3 or 4 o'clock hour. Again, you can follow me on Twitter for that official notification or hit the bell notification to know when we'll be going live. Look forward to catching up with Jack and breaking down the game and then heading off to Chicago. Until I see you again, cheers, faithful.